right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Reunion Station. We are super excited to have our guest on for the day, the one and only Mr. David Cain, one of Reunion's long-term supporters. I think we've been going to David's shows and events now for, several years. And it's been great to watch that grow, to watch your program, been a part of many 20 events, and I don't think there's too many people in automotive that are as highly respected as you, sir. So we're certainly glad that you've taken some time to sit here with us this afternoon, rather, and talk a little bit about what you do here.
Excellent. Well, as you know, I've got a great fondness, not just for you guys, but the entire Reunion team. And what we really feel glad about is the fact that when you do come to our 20 groups, you're always prepared. When you do present, whether it's at the Kain event or anything else that we've been involved with, you guys really bring the knowledge. And when you're in a situation like I am, where I'm putting my neck on the line and saying, these guys are really capable of helping advance your business, you always impress. And thank you all very much for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we love that. I mean, and this whole video series is about bringing the knowledge, to our clients, to our friends, to our partners. And the purpose behind all of this is to highlight the people that are dealers we recommend them watch, the companies that they should look out for, the people that can really help them grow their business and bring knowledge, from our friends and supporters. And, David, you and I, we co-founded V20. We've got to be really good friends over the past several years. Chad's come in second place at several of your Shark Tank awards, and
rub it right in.
Maybe one day we'll get that.
Maybe a third too, I think.
But really, I mean, like a quick 2 minutes, high pressure 2 minutes, maybe highlight NCM and, what are all the things that it's doing maybe on the dealer side and the vendor side now with the new V20, how do we help people, or how does NCM help people?
Yeah. So what's wonderful about NCM is they've been in operation for over 70 years. And if you go back to one of their most cherished documents, it's a picture of the first 20 group, and good old Henry Ford was in that meeting. And this is the Deuce. Henry Ford II was in that meeting. And really the whole concept behind 20 groups and the like is getting like-minded people who really can help one another to improve their overall operations and put them in a position to where they're collaborating. And I think that's just one piece of NCM that a lot of people are very familiar with, but a lot of people don't know. NCM provides educational training through their workshops that are not only hosted there in Kansas City, and we do the digital marketing and the internet BDC management workshops, but we also do workshops all across the country and other type of venues. And NCM also does what are known as 20 groups that are designed just for dealer groups. So like, for example, you all both come from a dealer group. So these proprietary groups can have their own sub 20 group, and they're moderated by an NCM professional that can go through, financial statement analysis, variable and fixed operations. I mean, it's a really robust program that they've got there. And now that they've acquired a little company called Kain Automotive back in January, they've got a full array of digital and variable sales techniques that we bring to the table. So I think NCM has a lot of good solutions, and certainly maintaining relationships with companies like Reunion really fuels our knowledge base. And Dave, you sometimes kid about it, but when you all get up on stage and you're going through those slides, I'm making notes on, slide 7 would be great in the next training class. Oh, look at the information on slide 17. I'm going to use that too. So we rely very heavily on these kind of relationships to help us expand our reach into the environment.
I love it. I mean, there's so much in there. And I mean, you can click, just the way that you articulated that with the ability to talk through marketing to financial statements and everything in between. I mean, it's pretty clear, I think, the impact that a 20 group can have on whether it's a single point dealership or, like to your point, a whole group. And I can really see how that works from your experience. And I've followed you on social media for years and seen you in all over the country doing these. What is kind of the best environment that you found? Like, if somebody's ready to go to a 20 group, like what is the environment that they could expect or hope for to really foster that kind of collaboration? What have you seen work the best in your years doing this?
Yeah, I think, if you go to the organics of 20 group, we have a composite where we do an analysis and we look at each other's benchmark numbers, and people will walk out and they'll go back to their principal and they'll say, how are we doing compared to, and in this market and in this variable? So those KPIs become really essential. Same with like your all search engine optimization, and all of the things that Reunion does. We're very much helping drive that at the 20 group peer-to-peer level. Additionally, we have the organics that you're very familiar with. We have the best idea session, and boy, that's where these guys, they pony up a little bit of an ante, and they vote as to who had the best idea. And so we have that competitive environment. But I'll tell you what I've learned in the years I've been doing. This is my 16th year moderating 20 groups. And what's cool about it is the development that occurs. A dealer principal can send a team member there, and not only are they rubbing elbows with some of the best in the industry when it comes to operational dynamics, but peers that really want to help one another achieve better results. And so we've had, in my time doing it, we've had 10 members become dealership general managers, which 5 of those were women, and 3 were women of color. So cool. I mean, it's a really remarkable development tool.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I absolutely love that. I mean, it's one of the few places I think that you can foster that kind of ability and that kind of, I guess, relationships that will help somebody propel their career like that. Absolutely.
No question. Yeah. And, candidly, when, you and Dave come to present, that stirs up conversation as well, because we can sit there and sit across from one another and have dialogue and say, what do you think about this, or what's happening in your store? But when you all bring outside knowledge with dealer groups that you're working with, and, I love your all's large dealer environment, but also the fact that you also work with single point stores and you drive their business. So it relates very easily to what these guys are doing. So when you all walk out of the room, we're not making fun of y'all. We're sitting there going, they said this, that would apply here. And that's actually quite, we do make fun of you all, but
yeah, I know. I knew the answer to that.
Yeah. I don't think anybody teases Chad more than you, David. That's, Well, I mean, David, that's something that, one, we love the environments that get created there. And, it's been really fun, you and Brent and I, founding V20 and Auto's first vendor 20 group. And now there's a second group that's launched. And, it's amazing how much you learn, the dealerships learn of these different dealership 20 groups. And the fact that there wasn't a vendor one is a big miss. Maybe you can share a little bit about, how that's gone and what are the stuff that we're looking to do over this.
Yeah, absolutely. And, what I love about that is the organics of it. You and Brent getting together and saying, hey, we're a couple of vendors. This might be a good idea. Who can we reach out to who's got some experience? And thank goodness you brought me into the fold. What's great about that group is you and I and Brent had no clue as to the level of engagement and collaboration those guys would do, some of the relationships that we fostered, the partnerships that we've seen. Literally, it's gotten to the point where we're starting to see subgroups form to where Volley, for example, one of the founders of the first 20 groups, now has their own Volley 20 group.
Very cool.
So that in and of itself was just an organic derivative that we didn't expect. And then also, Dave, the fact that you are now teaching workshops, some of the other members are raising their hand and saying, I'm an expert on this, I'll be glad to do it. And then further, seeing them talk through, have sales slow down or sales speeding up, what kind of promotions are you guys using? I mean, it's really cool, and something that we thought they'd enjoy it. We were driving towards that, but I don't know if any of us expected the kind of growth in collaboration that we're experiencing. And the next group, I'll just tell you this, and Dave, you were part of it. They think they're better than the first.
I love it.
And I think we're going to see some fun
rivalry
competition there.
Yeah.
I certainly hope so. I don't think that's probably what will help the dealers win the most, right? Is when you have a bunch of vendors collaborating, trying to figure out ways to be better for one another. Like it seems like a recipe for winning, which obviously we're super excited about. With how much change is happening in auto every day, David, and I think we're in a year right now where there's been so much change. When it comes to 20 groups, do you think, I mean, we just talked about 20 groups being around since Henry Ford, for goodness sake. Obviously they've evolved. How do you anticipate, both with NCM and just how is that going to continue to change as dealerships change? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think what some of the things that we're working on right now are topical 20 groups that involve some of that change. We want to create, we've already got an internet BDC 20 group, we've got a digital marketing 20 group, we've got a marketing director 20 group, but now we're thinking in terms of a modern retail 20 group, a modern / digital retail 20 group. And there's probably enough legs in the industry to move into those topical specialty type of items as opposed to the broader perspective. So we'll see. I mean, one could make a case for one price type 20 groups or digital sales for fixed operations, all kinds of different things that can be digitized. And we don't know what it could be. What's important to us is listening to the members, because 2 of our 20 groups organically were created by the members who came to me and says, I think it's time that we move in this direction. And I love that kind of organic incubation of new ideas.
Absolutely. Most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, we all 3 of us were lifelong learners. I mean, the older I get, the more I realize I don't know. And so just surrounding myself with people who know a lot and get that perspective is so important. So, we recommend, to any of our dealers who aren't in a 20 group or not looking, really check David out and NCM. And David, if somebody was interested and wanted to reach out and learn more about joining a 20 group, or if there's a vendor who's watching, that's interested in V20, what are the things that anyone who's watching this might want to do to learn more and participate?
So, what's great is I'll speak to the vendor 20 group right away. There's no person better to speak peer-to-peer than Dave Spannhake. He lives it, he breathes it. I don't know how he works with so many people who are candidates, but he always makes time for a phone call, and I'll do the same thing. And what I was trying to get a hold of, get in front of, he and his executive assistant, Laura, who is a huge proponent and coordinator of so much of that, is they really reach out and support the group, as will NCM, as this group tends to mature. So if they're curious, they can reach out to myself or Dave. We'd be glad to walk through those variables. If they're interested in finding out about any NCM type 20 group, they can just go to info@ncmassociates.com, send an email. You can send an email to me, D. Cain at NCM Associates, and I'll be glad to facilitate that next dialogue that you'd want to have. And remember, we've got the talent and HR type 20 groups that we're just now starting to create. We've always had the financial statement 20 groups. We've even got buy here, pay here type 20 groups. So anything that you can imagine is available in the 20 group environment, or will help you create that. So
very awesome. Well, David, I mean, we appreciate you so much. I mean, longtime friend, supporter. I mean, unfortunately get to work with you with all this V20 stuff. We just appreciate the heck out of you. So thanks for being on. And yeah, everybody check out NCM, check out David Cain if you don't know him.
Yeah, and thanks for inviting me to the station, gents. This has been fun.
Thank you, David. Appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody.